Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So Michael at Val5Links posted this. Elon Musk's market-moving tweet shows that Bitcoin is not mature enough, according to Fundstrat's analyst Tom Lee. So this was from a couple of days ago, but essentially Tom Lee is talking about Bitcoin and that movement we've seen over the past few days, really kind of bolstering the price of Bitcoin. So in a recent tweet, the famed perma-bull also claims that the cryptocurrency's sensitivity to the actions of one individual proves that institutional investors are not there since their impact on the market is still very small. As reported by You Today, Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary recently opined that institutions were yet to get into Bitcoin because of environmental issues. Lee expects Bitcoin's volatility to dampen when the share of sophisticated investors becomes bigger. And so this all to say, despite the fact that we are hearing the narrative of, big institutions getting into Bitcoin and, big money pouring into Bitcoin, it still really isn't as big as maybe some of us think it is. And this is why tweets from celebrities can still kind of manipulate the market. An interesting perspective there, considering we are also seeing things like this. Hedge funds expect to hold $312 billion in crypto by the year 2026. This coming from BondCrypt XRP here on Twitter. So hedge funds to hold 7% of their assets in cryptocurrencies by 2026. This according to a Financial Times report that cites a recent survey of chief financial officers conducted by Intertrust. Based on the forecast, this could translate to approximately $312 billion worth of crypto. North American CFOs have a stronger than average appetite for the novel asset class, expecting it to reach a 10.6% share of total holdings. Their European counterparts, however, are more conservative, settling with an average exposure of about 6.8%. And as you guys may have heard, Paul Tudor Jones, one of the most successful hedge fund managers on Wall Street, said that he wanted a 5% Bitcoin allocation, and he made this comment just yesterday on June 14th. So, interesting to see that, despite, Tom Lee's got a point here too, right? How can Bitcoin be manipulated by tweets? Or is it being manipulated by tweets? Is it something else? Considering we are seeing all this news that hedge funds, big business, institutional money, companies like Tesla buying up Bitcoin in large quantities, obviously tells us something. Guys, I also saw this from crypto_-odl here on Twitter. He sent me this. So a Bitcoin mining council goes live and Elon Musk gets sidelined. The council originated as a closed organization, but they are now allowing any miner to join. While Michael Saylor gets a founding member status, the site states that Elon has no role in the council. So what is this council? The Bitcoin Mining Council, an organization born out of the worries regarding Bitcoin's energy consumption, launched officially yesterday. On the website, the council presents its mission statement. It also explains the plan to tackle the task of addressing Bitcoin energy worries. And here's what the site states. The mandate of the Bitcoin Mining Council is to promote transparency, share best practices, and educate the public on the benefits of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. Boy, these Bitcoin maximalists really are going all out to protect their narrative. It seems like that, doesn't it? To achieve this, individual members need to provide accurate energy numbers. Miners and mining companies are traditionally reluctant to share these statistics in the open. The council made its debut last month when Michael Saylor hosted a meeting of a group of several miners in America. The objective of the meeting was to point Bitcoin mining to a cleaner, greener direction. However, the Bitcoin Mining Council states, Bitcoin's energy usage is a feature, not a bug, and provides tremendous network security. By providing a voluntary disclosure forum, miners can decide to share their energy sources in hopes of promoting transparency. So, interesting to see where this is all going. Looking for a cleaner, greener, some may argue leaner, Bitcoin solution for miners, and now there's a council to promote this. This coming on the heels of course, El Salvador talking about utilizing Bitcoin for remittances. The IMF didn't really like the fact that El Salvador was accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, so there's that whole narrative there. Of course, the IMF in deep with the World Economic Forum and that Great Reset initiative. So Bitcoin maximalists, right, kind of just scrambling like rats, trying to pick up the scraps wherever they can, trying to kind of fix the problem that supposedly Elon Musk has caused, which I don't think it was entirely Elon Musk. I think that it has been going this way from the beginning. Leaner, greener, and cleaner cryptocurrency adoption is definitely going to be the future. And so, I'm not even going to play this clip to give these dingbats any airtime on my channel, but you can play it if you want. I will link the tweet in the description of this video. Basically, Max Keiser, we all know he is a Bitcoin maximalist, calling every other cryptocurrency, including Ethereum, basically an SHIT coin. And so Rothschild von Bilderberg here saying, so this drunken delusional Uncle Max Keiser is saying that XRP and Ethereum and every other great project solving real world problems in the space other than that old, slow, and obsolete power of work Bitcoin is an SHIT coin. The ignorance is despicable. And so, even just listening to this, you can tell he doesn't care about real world utility. He doesn't care about cryptocurrency adoption. He just cares about himself, his Bitcoin, and his Bitcoin appreciating in value. He's got one objective. He says it's for the people. He goes out saying on air in public, Bitcoin's going to change the world. It's for the people. But he's also said that he got into Bitcoin very, very early. And so, it ultimately behooves him for Bitcoin price to keep appreciating. I don't think it's so much ignorance as it is self-preservation. So we've got the news from El Salvador saying they want to use Bitcoin for remittances. And I saw this from Michael at Val5Links. Monthly BTC remittances of under $1,000 totaled $1.7 million in May compared to $424,000 the year before. So quite a large increase, and this coming from El Salvador. El Salvador's BTC remittances in May quadrupled from last year. And here are some of the takeaways. El Salvador became the world's first nation to pass legislation earlier this month, making Bitcoin legal tender, meaning BTC can be used to pay federal taxes, must be accepted by businesses, and will not be subject to capital gains tax in the country. Monthly BTC remittances of under $1,000 totaled $1.7 million in May, compared to that figure that I gave you earlier, $424,000. Transfers of this size are often used as a proxy to determine the number of transfers from Salvadorian expats working abroad. In 2019, nearly $6 billion, or 1/5 of El Salvador's GDP, was made comprised of remittances, one of the highest ratio in the world according to the World Bank. And so a few other facts here from this forecast article, basically just stating remittances from Bitcoin are growing in El Salvador. As an XRP hodler, is this the way the world is going? Well, I think not. I also saw this from the Cryptic Poet. Did you guys see this? Spend the bits. This is letting users send and receive Bitcoin in seconds by utilizing none other than the XRP ledger. Just listen to this.
When Dave tries to send Bitcoin to his friends, why does it take so long? And why is the fee ridiculous? Dave is also asking questions about the impact on the environment. Well, Dave, you are one of many people who are dealing with common Bitcoin issues like high transaction time, high transaction fee, high environmental impact. Luckily, here is the answer. Introducing Spend the Bits, faster, cheaper, and smart solution that is built on the most advanced decentralized platform. That is XRP Ledger for secure and reliable transaction. Faster, cheaper, smarter, decentralized safety, cryptocurrency payment solution.
Booyah! Cryptocurrency payment solution on the XRP Ledger, and yes, you can even send your Bitcoin through this app. I'm just going to scroll through here and bring you guys to the end. If you want to watch the rest of this video, it is quite a fun little video here. Right at the end here, I thought that this end statement was very poignant as well.
Just so we are clear, Dave, you can now have Bitcoin transactions in seconds, only pay up to 1% in transaction fees, and finally sleep well knowing you are choosing the most eco-friendly solution, as XRP Ledger is green. More reasons to use Spend the Bits. User can earn interest on their Spend the Bits balance with an option to choose from BTC or XRP.
BTC or XRP. So a greener solution. Clearly, this is the way the IMF wants the world to go. The World Economic Forum also wanting to promote that green narrative. Bitcoin just isn't going to be a favorable option for that world of payments. And so I know that there are a lot of projects now, some taking off, others that are still in development, that we've heard about being in the XRP community over several years. This one from Anders L. guys and his theory on Polysign. So he says, this is his theory, I don't think the banks would like to use these crappy ODL exchanges for their transfers. I wonder if they could use Polysign. We know that it would be integrated with their subsidiary Standard Custody for safe custody, and that is critical. We have also heard about Polysign doing atomic settlement, which gives us another clue that it's possible. Apparently, it was most likely previously named Interledger FX, and so he links to this webpage here, Corporation Wiki. Arthur Brito, of course, president of Interledger FX Inc., and you guys can see down here, Interledger FX is active and Polysign inactive right now. Just connecting the dots here, Arthur Brito, also one of the founders of the XRPL. Interledger FX sounds like it could be settlement through ILP in the FX market. It makes sense. Recently, we heard from the CEO of Polysign of something they would call Polynet. That reminds me of SwiftNet, RippleNet, VisaNet, and CLSNet. Now, what he's referring to was this video, guys, and Darren XRP at Fame21More posted this a few days ago now. Polysign CEO talks about proof of concept with a European institutional investor. He also talks about Polynet. Now, I'm going to play you guys a little bit of this. This is Jack McDonald, and he is also affiliated with Polysign.
I'm Jack McDonald, the CEO of Polysign. I joined about 3 years ago after selling a company I was running to a public company, and that was in the traditional finance space. We had a prime broker and a fund administration business, and so I had seen kind of the slow emergence of cryptocurrencies and had a thesis that there would be this slow evolution and intersection between the traditional capital markets and everything that digital asset marketplace had to bring, and that's certainly borne out in my experience over the last 3 years. I met a fellow by the name of Arthur Brito, who was one of the 3 co-founders of Ripple, who had left Ripple and wanted to start a company focused on helping digital assets realize their full potential by being securely held, freely traded, and instantly settled. And he's a real blockchain expert and wanted to build an infrastructure company leveraging his blockchain expertise. And so that's what we've done. We have a couple of products that we're in the process of rolling out. Our first product around custody will be announced on Tuesday of next week. It's a New York regulated trust company called Standard Custody and Trust that provides essentially custody and escrow services to the 10 largest cryptocurrencies by market cap, and then we have an asset vetting policy. So any asset that meets our criteria, we can service.
So Standard Charter and Trust, that is this company here coming soon, Standard Charter and Trust Company. As you guys heard from the CEO of Polysign, they really want to integrate a custody service solution for cryptocurrencies. And I mean, this is going to be at the institutional level. Okay, so really, really big money getting into cryptocurrencies. They wanted to find a solution for this. And so this is what they came up with. And I do really urge you guys to watch this Darren Moore Jr. video if you guys haven't seen it. Ripple Tailored Solutions for Institutional Investors, Polysign, Polynet, and Green Energy Custody. I will link it down in the description of this video. Listen to what Jack McDonald has to say next.
We're also building a separate blockchain-enabled product called Polynet, which is focusing on a broader transfer of wealth, and we're really focused there on bringing about instant atomic settlement between different counterparties who want to trade a very broad range of assets. They could be digitized or non-digitized, and we think there's just massive opportunities to help bring greater efficiency to both the buy and the sell side. I think one of the things that differentiates us in the custody space is that we're the only custodian out there with a native blockchain to its core, and we do that to add another layer of security to our offering. There's also a lot of benefits from a regulatory compliance standpoint because of the immutable nature of what a blockchain provides, and we're able to store every aspect of an asset transfer onto the ledger. And so we've gotten very good feedback from the regulators, from the market on that, and very excited to be launching that business.
So a little bit from Jack McDonald with regards to Polysign and this new thing that he calls Polynet that Anders L. mentions here. Reminds me of SwiftNet, RippleNet, VisaNet, CSLNet, etc. Sounds like a global network. In my opinion, there could be a global entity doing the atomic settlement for RippleNet members, could be Polysign. The alternative would be small remittance companies transferring over these unstable ODL exchanges could work well for small transactions. The way it works today is that over 50% of all FX settlements happens through CLS, which is one entity working as a trusted intermediary for the global RTGS network, ILP plus XRP. Perhaps a trusted intermediary would be needed here as well. Polysign, ? The shield. And for smaller transfers, you could use the ODL partner exchanges in exotic corridors. So what Anderzel is suggesting is that there may be different solutions for different types of payment options. Smaller remittances going through the smaller crappy exchanges, as he puts them, and these bigger kind of more institutional payments are going through something like Polysign, Polynet, what have you. He goes on to say, and for smaller transfers, you could use the ODL partner exchange in exotic corridors. As I'd mentioned, CLS currently has 18 of the largest currencies in the world. The others are left out. Today, the standard is SWIFT, messaging plus CLS, clearing and settlement. Perhaps the future could be RippleNet plus Polysign and its subsidiary Standard Custody. It seems Polysign will be used to transfer digitized assets in the capital markets as well, like stocks, bonds, tokenized real estate, etc. Huge potential. And again, he says this is just a theory. It could perhaps be the entity doing the multi-hop stage as well. Well, we got Panosmec here on Twitter. They can't just use Polysign unless PS has many integrations with exchanges or ILP rails and provides all the XRP pairs with enough liquidity. Most likely banks will create their own exchanges and or connect with Polysign, which will become a big market maker for XRP. So market makers, guys, you and I, the smaller market makers, but there will also be bigger market makers. Market makers will probably become some of the biggest holders of XRP and will hold on behalf of most banks so that they don't have to hold directly in their books and take any risks. Okay, and we're going to be able to make money from our XRP, sourcing that liquidity that these financial institutions are going to need. Market makers themselves may be subsidiary of banks, and sometimes they are managed like investment funds. Private investors will place money with these MMs. Then he gives some examples here for earnings. Therefore, the risk of holdings are placed onto investors in exchange for profit made from network utility through market making. Profit in market making is greater with higher network utility and will likely be very profitable given the volume of global remittance. Addressing volatility, the percentage volatility is high today because simply because the number of participants holding XRP is comparably low. This can and will likely be addressed through higher participation and thus higher price. So think about that for a second, guys. Right now, we've got the high volatility. Participation is low. Once those prices get higher, volatility will definitely go down in the space, and XRP could command a price of, let's say, for example, $100. At that point, we would use our XRP, sell it to whoever needs it in order to facilitate these large transactions. And this is, the outlook for years in the future. Panosmec goes on to say, if the price of XRP is too volatile, that means that people who hold XRP will sometimes have gains and sometimes have losses. But if the price is volatile but constant over the long term, then the gains will more or less cancel out the losses. There is, however, a big exception. If you hold more XRP when the price is dropping and less when it's going up, you can take losses even if the price is constant over the long term. For XRP to be competitive as a settlement asset, it has to be better than whatever the next choice would be. A high holding cost would make XRP competitive in only the most expensive or efficient corridors. And let's also not forget what Bob Way mentioned way back in, I believe it was 2019. The way Bob Way described it, it would be that banks would connect to the payment service providers and let them conduct the transfers. But I believe Polynet could have a similar role to CLSnet because of Trust, Xpool, plus multi-hop. And I'm just going to play you guys a real quick clip here from that Bob Way interview. It's at 1 minute and 7 seconds. So let me just tee it up here. Here it is.
And so that's what I expect turning the switch is going to be. It's going to be connecting banks to these other payment service providers that are already using the XRapid product and going through XRP now and increasing the volume.
So this tweet from David Schwartz now makes a little more sense. And this clip refers to this tweet here. David Schwartz saying XRapid was our first effort at settlement and it's not aimed at banks. We felt the best first target was the kind of low value, high volume remittance like payment we could get at companies like our XRapid partners. So the banks, big payments, large value payments is clearly what sounds like Ripple's end goal. In the meantime, they have to prove that ODL works for small time remittances around the globe, transferring one type of currency to another. And we've already seen some great examples of that through Ripple partners, through the XRPL. And this is why, guys, if we have the patience, this is why I'm not selling all of my XRP today. I mean, if we start to see, the caveat being, if we see outlandish XRP prices, I will probably sell 100% of my XRP. But the fact of the matter remains, there is still so much potential down the road. XRP is a long hold. Being a market maker could make us a heck of a lot more money. Yes, even more than just selling at this altcoin top. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.